to back for putting these on racks in numerical order. So 1153 should be back here. So whose are these?
Fine.
Okay, go ahead and fix it real quick for me.
Mine are gonna be the same, so.
Huh?
Mine are gonna be the same way.
Yours are
so.
gonna be the same? Okay, Richard, go ahead and do that with yours.
Sorry.
Coda, E,
Was
do you guys
was
know
front
yet?
or back?
I don't have any slides to stain right now.
Okay, that's okay. Oh, Richard, sorry. Here's yours as well too.
Awesome.
Okay, so go ahead and fix them in numerical order. Okay. So anytime that you have to correct a label, what's best to do is you're gonna come over here to the Vision Tech, and you're actually going to take one of these labels, and you're gonna write the corrections on here and then stick it on top of your slide, okay?
Okay.
For right now, we'll run it since we only have another 10 minutes before we get over here, okay? But so you put it in numerical order, back to front, right?
Yep.
And then you did good because you made sure that it was facing this direction where it says upside. And that's because this hanger where it says upside should match each other, okay? Otherwise, it's not going to cover slip your slides, okay? Here.
Upside.
How are they supposed to look? Okay, so
Richard, are you done?
with one of them.
Okay. When you're done with both, then I can take care of it for you. I can
Well, I
double
think I
check
did
your
this,
glue.
but okay, so.
Couldn't tell if this was a 3 or an 8, so I went with 8. Okay, you're okay. Oh, thank you for catching that. So you also want to make sure, like Travis was saying, make sure it's not crooked. Another thing too is let's say your slides were facing the wrong direction. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. So let's say your slides are facing the wrong direction, right? But they're all in numerical order. Okay, a quick trick of the trade is you literally, instead of doing it one by one, you match up the ridges, have the upside face towards you, match up the ridges like this, and then flip this one to face the correct direction, match them up all over again, and then you get it done in like 2 seconds versus you being like, oh my god.
2 seconds versus 5 minutes.
Yes. So it makes your life so much easier when you can do that. I remember the first time my lead showed me that at work, and I was like, do it again. She was like, we don't need to do it again. Oh, but that's just as long as it's in numerical order, then you can do that all you want. If it's not in numerical order, then obviously you have to do the long way around. But that's okay too.
So it's always the bigger number in front.
Yes. And I just say it to you guys because again, most labs are like that. They're assuming that you're doing that with your racks too. So much so that like one time a lab assist came to like cuss me out one day because one of my students was interning at the lab and she was like, what is wrong with you? Why did you ever teach them that in school? And I'm like, I did. I literally taught them that. And I'm like, please don't yell at me. And they were like, so then what? You want me to yell at the student? I was like, no, don't yell at the student either. But I was like, it's literally just a small little mistake that they made. I'm not kidding. She was cussing me out like crazy that day about it because it put her behind with case assembly, and so people just want you to get it right away, you know?
So basically the most recent, like the largest number in front. So like 1243 is the highest number I had from this year.
Mhm.
Then the last.
Yeah. So then, like,
So like
this
this
would be
would be into that.
Yeah, so you would go like, here's spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
and
small
this goes
numbers
20.
than that.
I didn't
Yeah.
have them in any order because half of them are random from other things, so that's why.
Just make sure you still have it in order because even then, again, somebody should be able to come over to you and be like, what was the last one you were on? Okay, cool. Because people will do that to you a lot at work. They'll just come up to your station and just take stuff and be like, okay, this is the direction it's going, and this is this. And because you should also be keeping your blocks in numerical order in your block holders too, right?
That's not aligned.
I see it.
While Richard does this, I can get your guys' stuff loaded right now. And then Richard, I'll catch you up to speed, okay?
Oh, the, if I gonna do another 15, will we have time to stain them today or tonight?
Last run for day cohort is at 1.
Oh.
So on here, it's gonna show you last run days is 1 p.m. nights is 7:30 p.m. Okay? And that's because this matches up with how much time it's gonna take you to hand cover slip, because it's usually taking students about 30 to 45 minutes depending on how many slides they have. Obviously it's because you guys are newer, but I have to give you like that wiggle room where if that happens or if something else happens, like sometimes the machine's arm will like punk out and then you have to fix it and put it back to the X axis and everything. So then you have to go in and fix it. Like we have to take into account those little things. And so that's why it cuts off super early, so that it can do that, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna log on. Okay, password is right here. It's gonna be 5 zeros and a 1. It's always gonna be right here for you, okay? You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, enter. Okay, and so this shows you the exact order that all of these reagents should be in for you, okay? So you can hit start, and then we want it on H&E, and this is station 1. So press these little dots right here to open the door. Give him a second, don't rush him. So now you can kind of rest your racks up here if you would like to. So this is station 1, S1. Here's station 1 up here. So we're gonna fill this up, okay? So we're gonna take our slides, make sure the upside is facing that way. I like, my joke to remember is, think of the upside, you get to leave here, okay? So your upside is facing that direction. And I'm actually gonna balance it right here too, because I could just put this rack on its own, but why would I if I can just put these two together? So then I can push this in. And then now station 2, highlight station 2. And then upside, upside. And now everything is nice and balanced. So do you see how the start button, it's not highlighted, it's just grayed? You have to make sure that this door is open and that you have already hit added baskets beforehand, otherwise it's gonna make you go right back around and do it all over again. So now we're gonna shut this, and do you see how now we can select that option? So now we're gonna hit start, start, exit, and now watch. Now it's gonna pick it up, and it's gonna start with station 1, of course, because that's the first one that it's coming to pick up. And so what it's gonna do is it's gonna take station 1 to that oven back there. There's ovens in here, okay? And so it's putting it up and down, but at some point it will actually just leave it in there, like without holding on to it, and it can come and get station 2. So do you see now it's like, wait a minute, I have to go do this too.
So why does it like dip up and down for a little bit?
Agitation can help speed up the staining process, and it also just makes sure that like with the amount of like force and motion too, it helps make sure that the stain is really impacting the tissue that we want it to. So that's why it's super important that we get water out from underneath the sections, because if you imagine all that force and everything, then that water is creating kind of like a bubble under your tissue, and it's super easy for it to fall apart. And I've seen that happen way too many times, especially in fall quarter with new students, where they're like, all of my slides washed off, like, what do I do? And it's like, well, did you have water underneath? I told you not to have water underneath, right? But so, if it keeps, like, if it continues to be like a bad issue, then I'll have you guys defer to using that oven and then using this oven, which is built into your protocol as well too. If you wanted to check or pause anything, you could pause right here. You could check the end station status to see if anything's done. Nothing's done. Station 1 would be in end station 1 and end station 2 would be station 2. PE, we're not worried about that right now, okay? So we're gonna hit exit, but you can go to detailed monitor and it will tell you where your run is right now and what time it's gonna end. Obviously these times, the time hasn't been changed, okay? I never worry about changing the times, don't judge me. But it'll tell you how long it has left in there and how many stations it has. Then we can go back to overview monitor. We can even go to menu and we can check the error log, staining mode selection, or we can go, once Richard's done, we can actually add Richard's basket on here and just go add baskets, H&E. And then if station 1 is free, which look it is right now, then we can add Richard's and then it will keep the protocols ready at the exact time that they're supposed to, finishing up when they're supposed to, and never getting your guys' mixed up at all, which is kind of cool.
So what you just said is we can add in different hour, and the machine will knows which racket
Yes.
from which hour. Okay.
So not hours, we can add them at different times, but we don't have to do any time calculation on this. The only time I would say time calculation is if like I didn't have this little sticker, which for a long time we didn't have this sticker up here, and it would be like, oh shoot, students would be taking their final exams. You get, I think, like 6 hours for a final exam, and students would have to calculate, including myself when I was a student. Oh my god, you'd have to go to the detailed monitor and you'd have to be like, oh my god, or actually not even that, hang on, add baskets, H&E, view program, and then we had to go step by step adding how much time is there to see if we actually had enough time to get it off the stainer, cover slip it, because when I was a student, it didn't, if you didn't have any slides to turn in, it was like boo-boo. But so now, since I've graduated from the program, I was like, how about we just have it for the students where it's explicitly right then and there for them to see. When your slides are done, your guys' slides are gonna come off into end station 1 or end station 2. And so like Chad was saying, look, it's gonna hold off into xylene. Why? Because we're using the xylene for the mounting media because our mounting media is xylene based. That's all you need to know. Any questions from you guys?
Oh, actually, yeah. For our final, do people usually use all 6 hours or? Yeah.
I've had like 2 classes that had finished early. They were about your guys' size though, so it's possible you guys could finish early too.
So is it more a matter of just like how many people have to take their turns on stuff, basically?
Well, no, everything is fair. So you guys get an hour each to sit at the embedder, an hour each to sit at the microtome, but you also have other stations. So usually what tends to happen is, or you can't re-embed on the exam because it would prevent other people from being able to get their time on the embedder, which wouldn't be fair. If I see somebody that's intentionally like trying to hog up the time, then I also would just kick them off. But also, I think in your final exam instructions, it's like, hey, every minute you spend over at each of those machines is 5 points. So if you're there for 3 minutes over your time, that's 15 points off your overall score. So that's like saying you didn't even turn in 3 of your slides for microtomy section.
So that's the same also with like whatever you don't complete, you get
You
5
get-
points off.
Because I think every block and every slide is worth 5 points each.
So is the majority of our final exam grade then our slides and our blocks, basically?
Yeah, your slides and your blocks, I believe, off the top of my head, I think your blocks are 25 points and your slides, I think, are 50 points.
Does
Wow.
that mean
That's like,
we gotta also throw some more things then too?
We're getting there.
Okay.
That's what final
that's
exam
exam
prep
prep
day
day.
is.
Oh, that's
Isn't
what
that
that is.
Tuesday?
So that'll be Tuesday, because you guys have your exam at the end of this week, but
With microtomy, or with the final exam, are we embedding tissue and then taking the tissue we embed and then putting it on microtomy, or are there
So
going to be
you're-
blocks already there?
no, you're embedding all your work. So if you don't like the way that your quality for embedding is, we'll ever get some practice done.
So, how do you grade our embedding?
So you turn in all your blocks at the end. So you have 15 total that you're gonna gross. 2 of those are going to be called specialty blocks, where it could be like bone, or like a biopsy with like 4 to 5 pieces in there. And out of you're gonna choose 10 out of your 15, but 2 of those have to both be specialty, because one is going to apply to your microtomy and embedding exam, the other one is gonna apply to your final exam. And so then what happens then is you actually then get 5 blocks to be put towards embedding and microtomy exam. The other 5 blocks are put towards the final exam. And then so you have to turn in all 15 blocks at the end of the exam. And if you clearly, you're only supposed to choose your 10, you only cut the 10. If you obviously went over and you took an extra one of your 15 to start cutting, then that's an automatic points deduction of 5 points per block extra that you take, because it's to keep everything fair. The whole final exam has to be done fairly between all of you guys. So I can't tolerate any kinds of cheating that way or cutting corners that way.
So is our final exam and our embedding and microtomy exam?
It's all the same day.
Okay, all the same day, so that's why it's all mixed together.
Okay,
Mhm.
so just break it down because I was really confused. So we're gonna have 15 blocks total, 5 are uncut, and that's gonna be part of our final exam grade. 5 get cut at microtomy, which becomes slides for the
Oh,
finals.
no, so five are chosen just for embedding and microtomy exam. You're gonna embed and cut those 5. The other 5 are gonna be chosen for final exam, and they will be embedded and cut as well too. But you will have an extra 5 that you don't do anything with other than embed. And you have to
Oh.
submit it to prove that you didn't
Okay.
break the rules.
So
Oh.
those 5 are for our embedding. Okay,
Okay, that's fine.
that makes,
Yeah.
okay, that
So,
makes
so it's
perfect
basically
sense.
5, 5, 5. Okay.
Yes,
And then the
Still-
10 that we cut, 2 have to be specialty.
yes.
Got
2
it.
of them have to be specialty.
Would that
Okay,
be
you were
written
saying we have
down?
15 slides, but then you're mentioning
No,
2
no,
out
no.
of 10, so which?
15 blocks total.
15 blocks,
10 slides.
10 slides. 2 of those 10 slides are specialty.
Yeah,
Oh.
but you're getting all of your grossing instructions on Tuesday. So all of this, like what you were starting to ask, yes, all of this will be written down on your final exam sheet. And it's broken down like very thoroughly, and then I can even make like a little, this is what you turn in sheet, where I'm like, hey, check off right here that you did this, check off right here that you did this.
Oh, this would be
What?
easy then. If we can, I mean,
It's-
here we
yeah.
can get like 20 blocks already done in an hour. And then
So is
most
that
of
is
us-
that
Super
the, is that
easy,
the main
yeah.
reason for giving us so many doing hours, just to make sure we will have 15 done in our hour?
Well,
Yeah.
you said it's to also prepare us for industry, but also I imagine so that the exams become what
Yeah.
might be if we had less of a standard difficult.
It would
Whereas
also-
now it's like, oh, I've been doing this.
The whole
The whole
time.
time.
Yeah.
It probably helps so when you're doing, you're not like freaking out like 15's a lot.
Yeah. So it makes it super easy, super doable. Everyone's able to do that. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, but most people, because obviously you guys haven't finished your labs, like we haven't done anything with that yet. But for most people, that's pretty doable because you're already exceeding that point. If you're not able to get to that point, then that's when it would be like, okay, we're hitting a point where it's like, this is a problem.
Okay, so to make sure I'm understanding, the microtomy and embedding are a separate final as opposed to the other
No,
final.
that's not a separate final. It's an exam because
Yeah, that's
we
what I
didn't
mean.
have space. But you said final.
Well, we're doing our.
Final exam, final.
There's a big difference
Yeah.
though.
Okay, but we're doing 3 things on that day.
We have, so we
You're
have,
doing multiple stations, more than
So-
3 stations.
Yes. Yeah, because
Okay,
you.
I know, guys, just please let me get it out, please.
Richard, calm down. This is your second time today. Okay? Calm down, please.
I will catch you later. I'll come back when I've cooled off and we can walk through this.
Okay.
Thank you.
oh, I'm fine. I just feel guilty for overwhelming.
Me, the instruction is not this. Do we get the written instruction
Yes.
before the exam?
So you will get it. So as soon as you guys come in to take your lab exam, I'm gonna tell you guys, like, come up to me and grab your exam sheets. You guys are all going to read everything through the entire exam. And then you guys will get 10 minutes to talk to each other to see who's gonna filter Heem and Edison on here, as well as get the chance to ask me all the questions you have about all the written instructions. Okay? But I also literally spend time telling you during class days, like such as right now, and then even on the first day of class, I was telling you guys this information as well too. And then throughout, like once you guys were in your first rotations, I was also telling you guys this information. But it doesn't always stick or make sense because you're not there at those certain times. Like obviously on the first day of class, I was like, hey, you guys get 6 hours to take your final exam. That's probably the only thing you really understood. I was talking about that first day, but I still tell you, we're probably gonna split it where you're gonna be doing microtomy and embedding exam the same exact day because of time conflicts and everything. And then I told you guys again, I think the first day that we had our very first rotation where you guys were first starting at embedding, I'm like, hey, just letting you know this is really important because this is all prepping you for your final exam, which is 6 hours, and we're doing this, 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 and this. And then when we switched again, then I brought it up a little bit again too. So it's kind of just like me regurgitating it so then you guys get more exposure to it prior to the day. Because if I don't start doing that, then it gets very confusing if we wait until the day of. So literally, since the first day of class, I've been giving you guys information on up until you guys graduate. It just doesn't always stick because you're too new at that point.
What I concerned about is I do read slow, so is that we have 10 minutes to read on the day of the
No,
exam.
you get as long as everybody needs to. We don't start with questions until everybody's done reading because I think that's what's the most fair thing to do.
Yeah, that's what my concern is because I
It's okay.
like
And
drag down everybody.
And if it helps too, like I can also like next week before we start grossing, like before we do final exam prep, we can even write all over the whiteboard being like, so these 5 are gonna be for this, these 5 are for this, and these are nothing. And then and even on your exam you have multiple organizing charts on there for you to go in and write this information to help remind yourself through the process as well too. Okay?
So our exams have a written and a practical portion.
Yes, but they,
Got it.
all of your exams with me do, because I think that that's what's the best option, is just to really make sure that you have a sound, cohesive understanding of everything too.
So you remember the grossing part, how we're gonna have the, well, obviously dictate everything. Would like I have to get the recorded thing, because that's what I was told to get by Becky. Would it be possible for me to like step right outside and like talk into that instead for an answer, or?
Oh, for your exam, you're
No.
gonna write it down on the
Okay.
paper like you did when you did it for that unit
For the first one.
specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it would be, I would love to do that. It would just, I think my students would hate me because a lot of students don't like being tested in that way. Another thing too is that sometimes it's easier for people to describe themselves like when they're writing, because then you can go back and you can fix it as much as you want to.
Yeah.
Versus if you're telling me verbally, it's just like one shot and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I very much prefer writing to speaking my answers.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
You are talking about dictation, right?
Yeah.
Be okay? The lids? Yeah. You can put them, I will put them like inside the containers themselves because they get so loose. Okay.
So would you recommend studying then that we go back and look at our old tests then?
That'll give you a really good idea as to how this final exam is formulated. There might be a few curveballs for you guys, but nothing too crazy, you know? Well, that's all I have for you guys.
Okay, cool.
Do you guys have any other questions?
I think I'm all good. What about you guys?
I didn't prepare any question.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Go back to cutting.